So KSI is actually going to be getting back in the boxing ring sometime soon, as he's actually put out a message via the bread batch where someone said, "I'm waiting for KSI to get back in the ring." Someone else responded, "You'll be waiting forever." He said nah. So I mean, he's gonna be coming back soon, according to the bread batch, and I mean this is super exciting. And obviously KSI has been out since that fight with Logan Paul back in 2019, which is already 3 years ago now, and he's gonna be finally making his return.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time since it's been KSI in the ring, and everyone has been anticipating his return ever since he fought Logan Paul in the rematch and won his first professional fight. And we've been dying to see him back in. There's so much talk about a Jake Paul fight and all the anticipation, all the hype around that fight. It's never been made so far. It doesn't look like, at least right now. It's definitely probably won't be the next fight of his, because I expect him to probably have a tune-up fight
Yeah.
that we're going to be going into more detail who we think might be next. Well, he didn't say an exact date, but I'd probably be expecting it if he's going to fight again this year, or if he's going to fight this year, I'd probably expect it to be towards the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely. And also with his tours and everything he's doing right now with the music scene and just the YouTube scene, he's super busy. And hopefully he'll be able to just dedicate himself to boxing fully and actually just commit himself and make that boxing return. And obviously he wants that fight with Jake Paul, who's now done a lot in boxing. His fought Tyron Woodley, knocked him out, which was crazy. But we're gonna see if KSI can follow in his footsteps, try to make up for the missed time that he hasn't been in the ring. And there are a couple of opponents that could be his next, which, I mean, the main one really is Austin McBroom, who is in talks to fight Nissan Gibb, but that fight might fall through because Austin McBroom doesn't seem to be. He's kind of chasing the KSI fight right now, and if KSI is going to be coming back to the ring this year, I think the most likely outcome is him fighting Austin because he's tricky and he has a big name as well. And I mean, it would be a good fight, a good tune-up fight. He wants a tune-up fight before heading straight into a Jake Paul fight. I mean, when you look at Jake Paul, he's already had 5 professional fights, while KSI's only had one. So if he wants to make up for that missed time, he's gonna need maybe a couple of tune-up fights, and I think Austin McBroom would definitely have that name to make a big event, and that's probably gonna be in the works if he's looking to get a fight lined up this year.
Yeah, for sure. Austin would definitely probably be his best bet. But now that there's even more guys in the scene, in the YouTube boxing scene, it's definitely going to be more interesting. And he has a few more options, such as King Kenny and Face Temper. Obviously, I doubt seeing him fight King Kenny. And also because Temper lost his last fight, technically, even though, controversy there, it'll be hard to make that fight make sense. But I feel like Temper could honestly been a decent option, but for sure Austin would be the right fight, I think. And it would definitely be the biggest fight, as Austin's coming off a big win over Bryce Hall in that whole social clubs event. If you really want to go for that Jake fight, I would definitely see him having to be very active pretty quick as well. As right now Jake's on maybe a little bit of hiatus, probably not for too long, but just a bit compared to how active he was. And if you wanted to make up the time, now it's definitely the time to make up the fights and pretty much gain the essential experience that he needs in order to kind of catch up to all the experience Jake Paul has gathered from fighting some decent level opponents for his first fights.
Yeah, and Jake's really been committing himself, and it's gonna be hard for KSI to make up for that lost time. But as you said, Jake's on a little bit of hiatus, and a face temper could be a decent option, especially if he has that rematch with King Kenny, which King Kenny actually called him out for a professional fight. So who knows if face temper has a professional fight against King Kenny, maybe wins that, then we could see 1-0 face temper versus 1-0 KSI, or maybe even 2-0 KSI if he ends up fighting Austin McBroom as a professional. Which I definitely think KSI is looking to have professional fights, not just exhibitions like a lot of these YouTuber events are having now. He's trying to actually get some names on his resume and on his record as a professional if he wants to match Jake Paul right now. So, I mean, there are other options. It's interesting to see where he'll go. Maybe someone else, maybe a different name will come up. As you said, face temper is possible, but we'll see.
By now, Jake Paul is he's been dedicating everything to his all of his time to it. So definitely a long way to catch up to Jake Paul in terms of just having that training time as well as just experience in the ring. But if one person can do it, it could very well be KSI, and it's definitely going to be extremely exciting to see him getting back into the ring.